Alrighty. Okay. Notice how instead of... Oh, it's gone now, but instead of Old Batista District, it says a very old place down in the corner where it says press any key. We're not actually back in the Dust District. We cannot turn around and go back to the manor. And this isn't where we were. This is not where we were. This looks like the door to the Nindash lock, but it's not. And we try to open it. And there was a door. I was wrong. This is the most extra.
Look around you. A crumbling island at the very edges of the void. But this one is special. It's the place where my throat was cut 4,000 years ago. This is where my life ended, and where it began again. It's where they made me.
This part of the void feels older.
Oh fuck. I just turned around. I didn't even do anything. I fell off the edge. Yes, note a couple things of interest. Emphasis on stone. Delilah is a stone worker. But she's got more stone-related powers than she had before, and I think the tide of this place has something to do with that. We'll go more into detail, but yes, time for more extra.
Right up until the end, I thought I'd find a way to escape. I fought, but the ropes only cut my skin, so I went limp. And then the knife touched my throat, and I knew I'd waited too long.
Where the fuck did he go?
The blood ran out, and I became a god. Now you know Delilah's secret. At the end of her days, she drifted through the void and should have been lost forever. But her will and cunning are second to none. She found this place, the island in the void where I became what I am. It changed her, and she discovered a way to draw from it, tapping into the power here. Delilah is a part of me now, and I don't like it.
Okay, there's a lot there. A couple things. One, note the vine-like growth coming out of this place now. That is sort of symbolic of what Delilah's influences had. You see the two full blade. Here, a better view of the blade. Can we climb? We can't climb onto the slab of sacrifice. The two-pronged blade is very reminiscent of Billy Lurk's arm in the new DLC, which is probably what she's going to use to try to kill him again. I mean, yeah, these dudes look their expressions are, I was going to say that looked like a kid. They're pretty uniform, but they're all happy. This is some cold shit. But yeah, so now, if we didn't already guess, Delilah was aiming for godhood. This makes it pretty darn clear. And we're not even done yet. There's more.
You have to give Delilah credit. She tore out a piece of herself and hid it away, inside a thing made of bones. She's made herself immortal. If you want to kill Delilah, you're going to have to find her spirit and give it back to her. Reaching it won't be easy, but what comes after that might be the hardest thing you will ever have to do.
The world contains more mysteries than I imagined.
True shit. Are we gonna still see the pile of unconscious howlers that I feel terrible about? I hope not. We are now back in the old Batista district. The world is very different. Okay, now we are...
Now to meet up with Sokolov again at the skiff.
No.
After a very strange day.
Notes. more bone charms and runes now. The world is very different. Oh, thank God. That's right, there's no Jindosh lock, and there's no body of howlers right here. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. That didn't happen. It never could have. We live in a different world now. There's more civilians. Look at that. There's only some dust. Not a ton.
Family committee made a request. Too much dust was pissing down.
Well, at least Stilton listens to them. More than I can say for the Grand Guard.
Okay. I was wondering what it would look like back there, and it's all locked off.
He knows we appreciate him.
That building's blocked off. There is no way into the district. I was wondering if there was a difference in what Corvo's apartment looked like. There's no way back in. That is interesting. That is absolutely okay. So they didn't even. I mean, they do a lot of changes depending on.
This is the Duke of Circonus. At the request of Aramis Stilton, I'm told I need to present another set of awards to critical mind workers.
Sure.
He's so much nicer.
Certainly not productivity this time.
This building is not all dusty.
Approval
We're in
for the
neutral
ventilation
territory.
shaft. It'll mark a real victory. More air means less dusty lung.
I think we can talk to. We can. Yes, thank God.
Lucia Pastor, right? You deserve thanks for helping the people here.
Considering who you are, I don't know whether to feel honored that you recognize me or to yell at you for propping up the Duke while he's shitting all over Circonus.
And who do you think I am?
I'm not stupid. Whether the newspapers and the posters in the street are right or wrong, I know who you are. And I hope you're here to end Luca Abele's tyranny. Either way, we haven't been sitting around waiting for you to clean up your mess.
Sounds like you have a plan.
No, nothing that solid. Not yet. But I believe the Duke will fall, eventually. All I can say is that when you reach the Grand Palace, just be aware that not everyone there is your enemy. Trust your judgment.
All right. I'll remember that.
Anyway, good luck. There's still a chance to make something new here in Karnaca. Something that serves everyone, not just some rapacious bastard with a title.
She's bitter. I like her.
What a world. Where even the mighty take from those who suffer. There's always so much to do. So little
Yeah.
time to think.
Miners' Union's back. Look at this place. It's beautiful.
If you want my advice,
We're not gonna steal their
just pay the
food.
fine and eat it. No use making trouble.
Exacting. Oh, and notice no wall of light right here. This is still neutral territory, this place that was once, oh, wait, we gotta re-switch that. The timepiece doesn't affect anything else anymore. Oh, we can't get to the black market shop either if we can't go that way. I was curious. Yeah, they locked off all of Batista. There's at least one more up here. But yeah, this place is no longer, it's still a little bit dusty.
Agreed to a meeting with the woman heading up the family committee.
You don't
What's
get the
her name
storms
again?
anymore.
Lucia Pastor. Well, she's supposed to talk to Stilton soon about new safety rules for the mines. Fewer hours for the children working down
Oh,
there,
we
too.
can't get in
Why
there.
does Pastor care in the first place? She isn't one of us. Never
How
seen
do we
her
get
carry
back up there?
pick or a shovel.
There's a rumor that she was in love with a miner. Someone who died in an accident. They say his body's still under the mountain, buried in silver.
I think Lucia Pastor just has a good heart. Strong.
I like Lucia Pastor. I think if you talk to her, she may play more in the ending. And she and Hypatia are buddies. Now we get a bunch of bone charms as a reward, should we say, for our behavior here. Let's take a look at them actually. Bitter blood, that's good. More damage would be good, that's good. And then what's Swift Stalker? Yeah, movement's faster. Okay, so they're useful. Is there a safe way down that doesn't spook these guys? Probably. Yeah. And there's one more bone charm, which I know where. Yeah, it's a black bone charm, which is pretty great. And we have
Maybe no
powers
one else
again.
will even notice. But things have changed here. For the better.
You still have that. And look at... Where's that? We're gonna see something two things very cool in a second. The first thing... Oh. And we're gonna get that bone charm. Hardiness. Black bone charm. Maximum health increase. Okay, sorry, we're going to craft one more bone charm. Is it exacting aim? We want Swift Stalker for sure. Bitter blood for sure. I don't think we care about more damage with crossbow bolts. Yeah. Another uncorrupted incident. Nice. Okay. We don't need our weapons anymore. So two things we're gonna see down here that are really cool.
The Duke will keep taking, consuming until someone puts an end to it. With each...
Oh no, I thought
You're back.
it stopped saying
That
Dust
was quick.
District. But it does. Notice anything different about Meagan? She has her arm and eye back, which is interesting. I think it's kind of cool.
Remember what you saw here when you're back in Dunwall, Emily.
You still see the dust. But yeah.
Sorry I couldn't take you to see Stilton myself. But I guess you found the place. Years back, Stilton was always quiet about the Duke. I never figured out just why. Lucky for the miners, let's get back to the dreadful whale.
Okay, cool.
Are you ready to leave? The dust is wreaking havoc on my throat.
Okay, it was just one cool thing. I thought the sign changed, but I guess it doesn't. It's still known as the Dust District, but less, that's the only name for it. It's still called Batista District now, which is kind of cool.
Yes,
you'll see something.
I found a way to get around Paolo and Byrne, and I've been to Stilton's house. Let's go.
We'll see something very cool shortly. Yeah. Alright, well, since that was shorter than I anticipated, I think we're also going to do everything up to chatting with our allies for the next mission.
Duke Luca Abele tore down the original palace in Karnaca, his birthplace, in order to build a lavish structure that cost enough to feed everyone in Serkonos for years. It's said to be a sprawling estate to humble all others, a monument to his ego and sense of princely entitlement. But whatever the Duke has done to his nation happened while I was Empress. In Dunwall, we were content to look the other way as long as the silver kept flowing. I've got to get inside the Grand Palace, deal with the Duke, and find a way to steal Delilah's soul.
Time for conversation.
Can you feel it? This is my last night. Soon, I'll dissolve into the great nothing.
You should be at peace.
I've stayed too long. Find Delilah's spirit. Trap her with this cage of dead flesh. Set me free.
I don't understand.
You will, very soon.
Alright, Emily doesn't understand, but the player definitely does. We have a vessel for souls. We've been using it for the past couple games. I personally think it's more emotional, and makes more sense to understand if it's Corvo, just given his attachment to Jessamine. Emily understands that. Well, actually, no, she does know the heart's her mom, because you see in the beginning she finds out you get the weird hologram thing. But yeah, so we are going to pick up and use the heart to store Delilah's spirit to bring it back to Dunwall, which will be really interesting. Also, Wyman has written us back. Morley, which is where I think Wyman is from Morley instead of Tivian, right? I'm fairly certain. Morley is also the ones that rebel the first time. There is suggestions that Morley will rebel again, which also led me to believe the first time that Wyman would betray you. Since, you know, Dishonored has the tradition of betraying people again last minute when you think you're done with the game. Yes, so soldiers made of metal. There are clockworks in the capital, in Bristol, in Dunwall. Women commanding the trees. The witches and whales gathering in the harbor singing their songs in reverse. The corruption of the void. It's a little cheesy, but it's cute. Okay, so now we have the beautiful silvergraph of us. Notice how Meagan now has both arms in the silvergraph. I think that's interesting. And we have a calendar. We only have, I believe, I think it's 2 more souvenirs to get. We have something to pick up in the palace and something to pick up in the other palace. But yeah, so let's see what she has to say. Alright, the Grand Palace. It sucks. Yes. So we saw the void. Yeah, she's basically Voldemort 2.0. Which is, I think, pretty fucking hilarious. And a little cheesy, but, you know, it is what it is. So, there's absolutely nothing in here now. I think there's no note here. Just double check there's nothing down here too. I'm pretty sure there's absolutely nothing. Yeah, there's nothing down here but the rats. There's also nobody in their regular spots.
I can't believe it's taken this long for someone to go after the Duke. Another aristocratic boss, living in a palace and sucking the marrow out of the same people who built it.
Yes, I regret my affiliation with the young Duke, but his father and I were close.
Recognize that voice?
It was my hope that Luca would eventually grow up and learn that his actions as ruler of Serkonos have very real consequences.
Stilton's our ally.
He could always count on the backing of Dunwall's finances and navy. Maybe without
I wonder what
that.
Aramis Stilton can accomplish now that things are different.
Block It's been
A gangster could never be trusted to run a city. Byrne wanted to be High Overseer.
No, so this is gonna give us a clue about what we're doing next.
Duke Abele spared no expense on his new palace. It's tacky if you ask me.
Her painting is pretty much done. The flowery bits are sort of now more faded. That's weird. And of course, there's the portrait of us. That's in progress. I think that's all it is. Sokolov's building something new.
Empress Jessamine herself once offered me a suite at Dunwall Tower, complete with a laboratory, the finest apparatus in the Isles. I declined, of course. I'm not some conjurer from penny novels. Besides, I have a great fondness for my privacy, and my interests often find me coming and going in the odd hours of night. It's hard not to consider what might have been different had I plotted a different course through my early years. Was there something I might have said or done when Delilah was my apprentice that could have prevented all this?
Probably, dude.
His character, a fixed star we must all follow in darkness.
That's the point of Dishonored, my guy. Character is not fixed. We all influence each other with our actions. And being a good person means something. Yeah, there's no food in here today. That's cool. We just have one more thing to look at. And then we'll probably cut it. That would be this.
Now we're going after the one who started it all. The Duke himself. I forgot the thrill of it. Planning drop-off points, and picking the approach. Thinking about the best ways to kill somebody who lives behind high walls.
Oh, Billy.
But with the excitement, there's a black echo that comes back to me for what I did at Dunwall Tower. If anyone deserves killing, though, it's Duke Luca Abele. I've loved a number of women, and even a couple of men. I've never loved anyone like my Deirdre. After I left home, those first years on the streets, she's all that kept me from the bottom of the river. I could sleep on a pile of garbage under a leaky awning as long as she was there with me. Sharing a tin of potted meat or a bottle of brandy that we nicked during the day. The Duke and his little brother came through Dunwall, and Deirdre and I got in their way as they stepped out of their fancy coach. The Duke goaded his brother, calling us wharf roaches. And it was the brother who swung the stick that killed her. Splitting her skull, there were wooden gazelles on top of the coach. And I snapped one off and drove it into his eye, as deep as it would go. Deirdre was already gone. Dead as a doornail. Lying in the muck, staring up at the gray Dunwall sky. On the run after that. I was hunted by the City Watch and even members of the Grand Guard up from Serkonos. People looked at me like I was cursed, spitting whenever I got close. Everyone knew I'd bring trouble. Even the gangs. The Duke's brother has been dead for a long time. But now was my chance to get back at Luca Abele for setting him off against pretty, young Deirdre. Nothing was the same for me after they took her away.
Okay. Yeah, another hint that if you haven't already gotten the Billy twist, that should do it for you. Interestingly enough, the souvenir we get from the palace is that very broken gazelle ornament. Here he comes, the bird. That's a funky render. Yeah, and if you look down there, we have a new ally. Look at him. He's all healthy. And he gives us inside information that you don't get if you don't have Stilton in your party. So, I think we're gonna cut it here. This beautiful coastline. Can we see the palace from here? Oh yeah, we can. That's the palace. That's where we're going. I think that's Addermire still. And then, yeah, you can see most of Karnaca from here. It's pretty cool. Alright, well, bye for now. I should have the next stuff up within the week, depending on whether or not I stop being sick soon. So, we'll see.